This video is going to be about my favorite jazz singers and players. First off, I want to say that I know it's been a long time since I made a video, but I've been extremely busy looking for a job and actually finding employment and working. The schedule's been a little grueling, but it's allowing for me to buy a bunch of items to show on on this channel, which I'm going to do very soon. I've just kept buying things steadily and kind of went overboard sometimes, but I buy things that I love and things that I'm definitely going to use and show on this channel eventually. Anyways, I started listening to jazz back in the 90s, thanks to my mom. But I mean that in a good way. And her father used to listen to jazz like Louis Armstrong and Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, John Coltrane. Those are all great artists. Who else did she listen to? She listens to some modern jazz, smooth jazz, and I can listen to that and appreciate it for what it's worth. Not that it's worth pennies. I mean, the music is very relaxing. So is some of the jazz that some of the artists that I'm going to talk about have produced over the years. Here we are with Snoopy and Woodstock. That's funny. 1941. This is Westwood Village around that time, and this is located in West Los Angeles. But Frank Sinatra, he was a crooner, as most of the jazz musicians and singers were back in the back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Frank Sinatra's career did extend into the 70s, but by that time I think he was starting to age, and that was starting to show within his voice. But great singer. He was not a writer. He would have writers write for him, or they would send him music, I guess, and then he would sing it. As everybody knows, the guy was a ladies' man, and went out with and I guess dated and was married to some very young, attractive women in his time. He liked to party as well. I don't know if I mentioned that, but he has some really good songs on his greatest hits and on his albums. Songs "Only for the Lonely." I can't name all of his albums because there's quite a few. There's one called Paris or something like that. That's a pretty good one. But never owned any of his records or actual albums. I do have one of his greatest hits records and a couple of greatest hits CDs, but the albums themselves, I don't really care to buy them. There's That's Life. That's a pretty decent album. You don't find too many of Sinatra's LPs on CD these days. Some of them are just not on CD for some odd reason. Here's another shot from the Westwood Village in in California. Dino, he was a good friend of Frank and was also in the Rat Pack. He brought another. He was, I guess, a little bit more edgy and had a good, clean voice, crooning voice. Liked to party and smoke just like Frank. Liked women, liked wine and booze, and just liked to live it up, And unfortunately, he paid the price for his lifestyle. I think in 1995. But a great guy. I don't know if he wrote his own music, but definitely contributed to the jazz movement. Louis Armstrong, not the best singer, but he can play I think it's the trumpet really well. He had a pretty good run in the jazz scene. I don't know. He's special. He's a really special player and singer. His voice is much more raspy, and he tries to sing, but I mean, he had his own way of singing. A lot of people don't like the way he sung, and some people that I've talked to, but everybody has their own opinions about entertainment, so I can respect their opinion and not badger them for what they say. But great guy. He had put out a lot of great songs over the years, but even the Doors can be considered jazz. They did fuse jazz with rock and roll and psychedelic music, so to speak. They were a great band.